All right, in a bold step towards enhancing Africa's transit trade and investment ecosystem, the Africa Export-Import Bank, the Afrexim Bank, and ZEP, PTA Reinsurance Company have launched the Trans-Africa Bond Alliance in Kenya. Now, it's a transformational initiative designed to bridge the insurance capacity gap, empowering African contractors to secure more construction and procurement projects while boosting cross-border trade and investment flows. The launch of TABA aligns seamlessly with the goals of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which aims to create a single market for goods and services across the African continent.
Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Cabinet Secretaries that are in attendance, Senior Executive Vice President Dennis Daniel, Senior Managers of Afrexim Bank, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to have the opportunity to address the launch of the Trans-Africa Bond Alliance, an initiative which I believe is set to support implementation of the AFCFTA by establishing a financial ecosystem that will enable the transit of goods. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Afrexim Bank and ZEP Ray, our hosts today, for developing this solution to a challenge of transit. The Trans-Africa Bond Alliance is an initiative, and the approach that has been taken truly is commendable, as it recognizes that in order for us to boost intra-Africa trade, we must also strengthen the underlying financial ecosystem in support of an enabling trade environment. This initiative will not only promote seamless cross-border trade across Africa, but also will catalyze the growth of the trade insurance industry in our continent to advance our mutual objectives of boosting intra-Africa trade and having a competitive insurance industry. Indeed, this occasion is of particular importance for the AFCFTA, as it directly addresses the challenge of transit, trade facilitation, and customs systems harmonization. The AFCFTA includes a number of legal instruments that speak directly to the challenge of trade facilitation, transit, and customs systems harmonization. A combined reading of these instruments is to ensure that we reduce delays and eliminate delays at our borders, and that we ensure efficient transit of goods. Historically, transit has been viewed primarily as the domain of customs authorities, with a focus on securing duties through bond guarantees. However, the reality is that transit exceeds the mandate of customs. It intersects with areas such as insurance, transport, logistics, and infrastructure, thereby requiring a multi-sectoral and a multi-dimensional approach to solving this problem. The continent of Africa, as we all know, has 16 countries that are land-linked. Their goods must transit through territories to reach ports and markets. Transit, however, the issue of transit is not only a challenge for the land-linked countries. It is a challenge also for the entire continent. That is why we have to develop an approach that is continental and regional in nature. Countries that are land-linked, as well as coastal countries, stand to benefit from a continental approach that seeks to solve the problem of transit. In this regard, transit is not just a national issue, it is a regional and continental imperative. The AFCFTA Secretariat and Afrexim Bank have been actively working to streamline transit procedures by developing a single continental transit guarantee scheme to reduce the cost of transit and to simplify the movement of goods across our borders. Whilst this work is ongoing, let me share with you some highlights of what has been achieved thus far. We have developed a draft regulatory framework for the establishment of the Continental Guarantee Scheme, and we have enabled a standardized transit system to facilitate harmonized border procedures. We have also introduced, through this transit guarantee scheme, the development of an IT-based platform to modernize and digitize transit operations. These efforts are closely aligned with the objectives of the Trans-Africa Bond Alliance. We will work together with you to ensure that as we implement the AfCFTA, transitioning from negotiations to implementation of the AfCFTA, that we do so leveraging on a financial ecosystem that supports intra-Africa trade and that reduces the cost of trade. In conclusion, once again, I wish to congratulate you for this initiative, and I wish you good deliberations. I thank you.
Allow me to stand on the protocols already observed, but allow me to single out His Excellency Veronica, the Secretary General of the East Africa Community, and our dear sister and partner, Hope Murera, Managing Director and CEO of ZEPRI. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today to mark another significant step towards the realization of our shared continental aspirations. A collective march towards deeper economic integration of our continent. We forge a new alliance to dismantle the artificial barriers and tighten the bolts and nuts of the wheels of trade and investment flows across national boundaries. This couldn't have come at any other time than now, when the pillars of global cooperation and integration are being disintegrated, and fragmentation, isolation.